Drew. So I guess how have the first three games been for you?
It's been great. Other than our loss in South Dakota State, of course. We've been playing hard as a defense. Everybody's been locked in, meeting after practice together. It's a fun team to play with. I love the boys too. So,
What kind of went into your position switch this offseason? Yeah, I guess what kind of went into that decision making?
partly, I wanted to exhibit my athleticism a lot more, rather than just staying with one guy throughout the entire game. I wanted to be able to move throughout the field, make calls and checks, be that have a bigger leadership role, be the quarterback of the defense, so to say. And so far, it's going well, and I like the transition a lot.
What was that transition like? I guess process like learning a new position. I guess what was that process?
Definitely, I knew a lot coming in just because I played last season at corner, of course. But just learning the checks and calls, and especially being a part of the run fit more often now. It's a it was a tricky transition at times. Luckily, I was able to get the springtime and fall camp. Coach Garza is a great teacher, and he's gotten us right on what we need to know.
You mentioned some of the run fits and checks and calls. I guess what was kind of the biggest learning curve? I guess what you say.
The biggest learning curve was basically when the formation changes after the snap, of course, because at corner, ball snaps, you might look at the quarterback for a second, but then it's just, all right, follow this guy. But at safety, you have to see, all right, is the guard pulling now? Is the tight end pulling? Is run coming downhill? Am I in a trio with the backers? Things change up for me. So, yeah.
You've had a couple hits on the quarterback, almost sacks. Are you?
Yeah.
How much are you feeling like tantalizing of like, oh, I want to get a sack in one of these games?
I was telling my dad right after the game, like, I want a sack. Like, I've never gotten a sack in my life. Um, I often think about the Jalen Ramsey video when he got his first career sack in the NFL, and he's like, "That's my first one ever." And I'm praying for it. Y'all see me screaming down there. I want it bad. So, yeah.
And you, how would you mentioned Willie Mack, but how would you describe him as a person and as a coach?
As a person, as a coach, especially being from Southern Texas, he reminds me definitely of like my uncles or father figure, in my opinion. Uh, Great guy. He's gonna be hard on you if you mess up, but it's only because he knows what you're capable of, and he wants the best out of all of us. And if we want to be a championship team, we all need to be at our best.
And you were recruited here, and I think a couple other places, right? From Freddie Banks when
Yes,
he was
sir.
here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I guess well, and I mean, did you watch that Colorado game, the Colorado State game?
Oh yeah,
Were
yeah.
you rooting for him that game?
I wouldn't say I was rooting for him. Shador and the Sanders brothers, they're Texas cats, so I was definitely rocking with Colorado in that game. But Coach Banks was cooking up some calls out there, so they gave them some trouble, of course.
So you're a fan of Coach Prime and all what's going on
Oh,
down
no
there.
doubt, no doubt. He's the best cornerback ever.
You kind of mentioned earlier, but what are some of the benefits of just being in year two of this defense?
Um, it definitely slows down a lot more for you. Just coming in, it's a gap scheme defense. You need to know where you need to be, and you need to know the guy next to you is going to be where he needs to be. And just being my second year, just being my second year with these guys, my trust and our bond has been growing a lot more, and it's definitely just a smoother experience on year two.
Yeah, and one of those guys is Rylan back there. I mean,
Oh yeah,
how much does it help just playing with him? And what is he? What have you kind of learned from him?
Rylan. Oh man, I love that guy. He's just like he's the leader of our group. He's the one who's the most seasoned there. He puts us all in check. Uh, he's really just a leader, and he leads by example. He goes out there and does what he expects from us as well, and that's the most respectable thing about Rylan North for sure.
And it seems like a lot of guys went through either physical or just worked on their mental this offseason. I guess is there anything you kind of did this offseason to kind of work on?
This off season, I definitely felt like I was taking steps to mature as a young man. Just getting more into a disciplined regimen, learning more about the process, and just trusting that process, and not really chasing goals immediately, but looking for that delayed satisfaction. And it turns out to work a lot better for me.
So
So,
the defense seemed pretty locked in on Saturday. How were you guys able to keep that focus on Stetson and not look ahead to Weaver State?
um, our we know at the end of the day, it's one game at a time. We can't look on to Weber State and blow a game to Stetson, and that just sets you back even further at the end of the day. We knew we wanted to win. We knew we could win. We knew we should win. And at the end of the day, that's all we were focused on doing last week.
What do you guys take from the non-conference now going into such a tough conference slate, especially the road games now starting at Weber and everything?
Playing the non-conference games, you definitely get to see where your flaws are, what you've messed up before with, I'd say, a lower risk. Once you get the conference, we've had 3 games to see what we've messed up on, what we need to get better at, and what we're good at so far. And we just need to take the momentum coming from Stetson's such a big win and keep it going throughout the rest of the season.
What did you think of Blake's interception?
Blake's interception was sweet. It was sweet. He was sweet. He was where he was supposed to be. Brody made a great hit, of course. It was fun to watch. I love watching the boys out there do their things, no matter who it is.
And it seemed like you and him were in a pretty close, tough battle during fall camp. I mean, how would you describe kind of that position battle?
Blake pushed me for sure. We're both great players. We both could be on the field at any other school as well. It's great having another guy who can go out there and do the same job as me with no drop off, especially for later on in the season if guys get unhealthy, things like that. You need guys and you need depth to win.